Hello my mini crafty friends, it's Jess here from Down to Earth Miniatures Australia. It's a gorgeous sunny day, quite warm, but we like the heat, don't we? So I put together this video to show you how to make up the kit, which is the sewing kit, which you've obviously bought on from Etsy. These are ideas of things that I've done when I've made up the kit, but I thought I'd give you some tips and some tricks on how to make your kit look really nice. So off we go. I'll just move these out of the way. So I'm going to start with the books. Now in your kit you've got a few books and they're fairly standard to put together with books. I've got a Cricut machine, so what I do with my books is I cut out the right size of pieces of card, and then I glue them together down the back of the spine here, and then what happens with those is you just pick off the size that you want for your book. You just sort of pull it off and then you've got the right size of book. It just saves on doing little tiny ones and then you just do a big lot together. But the other thing you can do with your books is you can use paddle pop sticks, or you can use little bits of foam board or whatever you like, really. That's just the way I do mine. So the book's pretty easy. With this kit you'll have noticed there's a Singer sewing machine guide. How cute is this? And I'll bring it up so that you can see. So in there, this one, there's two different covers for it. This one I've just put 3 or 4 pages in, so it looks quite thin, quite a thin book. But the other one, I just felt like putting the whole thing together. So you've got one with a thicker spine, and that's going to take the whole book, so you can put all your bits and pieces in there. Now I'll put a link in the comments on this video. What I've done this with is vinyl sticker paper, and then when you go to stick them together they're really easy to stick together. Other things you could use are, you need to get some very thin paper to print them on, otherwise it will be so fat that you'll never get the cover to go round it. Or you can just leave out some pages if you don't want to do the whole thing. So that will be the books, and as you can see here, I haven't used all of them on this one. I've just used a few, but you can oh, sorry, it's not focusing on this very well for you, is it? So you can, do whatever you like with those. So the next thing I'm going to show you is the patterns. Now there's quite a lot of patterns. There's Vogue, just throw that one away there, Vogue, Simplicity, I can't remember what the other ones are, McCall. So there's quite a few different ones, and again I've used the same vinyl sticker paper for these, and I'll show you how I put those together. So I've got my vinyl sticker paper here. I'll do the Dritz one for you because that's quite nice and bright, so you can actually see what I'm doing. So let's put that down here, and usually you just need a couple of so you'll just need a couple of bits of card to go in the middle. It depends on the thickness of your card, obviously. Let me move these back out of the way so you can see what I'm doing here. And I'm going to put that there like that. And it sticks down really nicely. And then you fold in the side wings first. There we go, 1, 2. The bottom folds up and then the top folds down, and there you have your tracing paper kit. That's a little bit messy on the side. I'll just trim that off in a minute, but that's how you do all the I can't speak, all the patterns. There we go. There's the patterns. That's how they're done. We'll get through it, don't worry, we'll get through it. There we go. I'll put that one down there. The next thing I want to show you is the buttons. Let's do some buttons. You'll have in your kit, you'll have, as you can see, there's boards, and I put buttons onto those. Now, to make the buttons, I did actually make them with polymer clay. I'm going to show you these, and then stuck them on. So I used a tiny, in here you can see all my buttons. So I used a very, very small circle and then cut them really nice and thin. I can't even get one out to show you because they're so small. And then I put 2 holes in it. Having done all that, and there was quite a lot of swearing involved, and then put them on the boards, on the packets like this. I just stuck them on. Where are you? There you are. I just stuck these on. I then discovered that Temu, which is one of my favourite shops, sell mini buttons. So then I bought some mini buttons, and that was actually a lot easier. So have a look on Temu, they do sell mini buttons. Next thing that I want to show you on here, so on this one you can see this is called a darning mushroom, and the mushroom I made, and you can make this if you have polymer clay, great, is just a small mushroom shape. You can see there's the mushroom shape with a little dent underneath, which I did on a ball tool, so it was really quite easy to do. So there's that, and then it just has a sort of oval shape stalk, and then you stick them in together like that. Once they're stuck, you can paint it with acrylic. I just used acrylic, a brown acrylic paint. So that was how to make that. And I also made like a tiny thimble there, you can see, which again is polymer clay, which I've just put it, cut a bit off and then put some holes in the top. It was really easy. Next thing, now these I'm really pleased with because I've been struggling to find decent cotton reels. And then I suddenly had, I do a bit of sewing, so I had a flash of inspiration and remembered that I'd got these things. Now these are metal rivets that you would put on bags or things like that. So I'm going to just show you what they look like. So they look a bit like a mushroom actually. And then they have a top that goes onto them. So you just get some of these. They were really cheap. Yeah, again, Temu or AliExpress, or you can get them anywhere. And you just click them together. If I can get it to click. Cool, that one's a bit wobbly. Okay, so there we go. It's clicked together, and there you have a perfect cotton reel shape. So you can paint these as well. You can paint it white if you want to have a white cotton reel. And I have designed the stickers to go on here. Now, for this one, I've used a vinyl sticker, or you can use water slide paper to do this, and they look really good, whichever ones you choose really. I'm going to show you how to use some water slide paper on the tray in a second. So for those of you who haven't done water slide paper, look, my tray's just popped apart. So this comes with your kit. Now this is in a separate it's in a separate folder, and that's because I don't know how big you're going to want to do your tray, but the link will take you to find that. So make sure you've got that when you do your download, otherwise you won't know what I'm talking about. I'll probably pop a couple of other ones in there. I'll just show you what they look like. You can use these on stickers if you want. I'm going to just hang on. So there's another one like that, or there's another one like this, which I'll put in. So to on these ones, I've put a little bit of fabric And you can see there I've done fabric rolls to go on the tray. So this is just a bit of fabric that I cut out and stuck on. But if you want to do an actual tray with this picture on, or the other pictures, excuse me, they're not too difficult to do. It's literally, I've got a large piece of, this is from a jumbo lolly stick, I think they're called jumbo, and I've cut it to the size I want, and then I've used coffee stirrers to make the edge. So they're really very, very simple trays that I've done for putting these on. So let me show you how to use water slide paper, and I will put a link to where I got mine from. So with water slide paper, you print onto it. So say we're going to do this one. So we've printed onto it, and then what you have to do is let it dry. It's quite important, otherwise it smudges. So you let it dry for a little while. I don't know, 10 minutes probably be enough, depending on how humid the air is and all those things. Then you spray it with a sealer, and that's really important, and I always give mine 2 coats. I will put the link to the sealer that I use in there as well. It's useful for all sorts of things. I don't just use it for water slide paper, so I'll put a link for that. It's called Rust-Oleum Clear, and you can get a satin, which is a matte colour, or you can get a gloss. So let's so we put this in water, and you just sort of poke it in and give it a little minute or two. It probably doesn't take much more than a minute to do that. Meantime, get everything else ready. So we've got the I just move these out of the way so I don't get them wet. So here we've got our piece of card, and you can do it before or you can do it afterwards to put it on your tray. You can either make the tray up and then put the water slide on. So you just make it a tiny bit smaller than your tray's going to be so that you can fit it on, but it's quite easy. So once you also need a baby wipe. I use baby wipes for everything, they're so useful, clean-ups and things like that. So I'm going to take it out now, and when you go to take it out, just drop a little bit of water onto your wood. You might think I'm bonkers, but it really helps. I'll move that out of the way. So the water's done. It should now, you should be able to feel that it's loose. So you have an actual membrane that you've printed on, and when you've printed on that membrane, the backing paper will literally slide off. So once you've got that, you then, dropping it here, I hope you can see all right. So I'm going to put this here, I'll just try and move my arm around a bit. So I'm going to just slide it a little bit so that the end is coming off, and then you put that down onto your board or whatever you're putting on. These are really good for plates as well. And then can you see I'm just sliding the backing out. So the backing's come out, you don't want that. And because I've got a bit of water under there, it's actually sort of floating on the water now. This is where your baby wipe comes in, because if you use your fingers, because your fingers are dry, what quite often happens is that it will stick to your finger and then go everywhere. So you use your baby wipe, put your finger in there and you press. You can't see this at all, so I'm going to do it with the left hand. I'm going to be a lefty. I am actually a lefty, but I use my right for most things. So you just pat it down and move the water that's underneath out. So here we have now the tray. If you want to paint your tray white first, you can, and I've used these for that. So that's literally it. It's now stuck on there. So you want to let that dry out a little bit, and then what I'll do is I will put another layer of, I usually use a Mod Podge or something like that on here. You can use a matte or a glossy one for that, but that will just make sure that it stays. I have to say the water slide paper that I use, Haynes is the make, I'll put a link, is really, really good and doesn't seem to come off. I have used other ones that either don't print very well or they come off when they're there, but this one's really good. So that's it. So then if you want to use that, I'm going to just tip these out and show you what it looks like on white. So there's one that's done with the white, and that's in a, I've made this tray slightly different. If you've got a Cricut, it's brilliant because you can make these things out of paper and they don't look like it at all. Anyway, I'll stop twittering on about my Cricut machine. Last thing, so on both of these, actually, I'm going to show you. This one's got a little mouse on it. How cute is that? Oh, how cute is the mouse? The mouse I made with polymer clay. I actually made a mould, and I've made lots of those. I love them. Right, where am I, people? Oh, here we go. So now I'm going to show you I showed you the mouse, but I'm going to show you how to make these pin cushions, because they're actually quite easy to make. The pin cushion is wax. I bought a wax seal kit, and I really like it for a few things, but actually for these it's brilliant. So I'm going to show you how you make one of these. Let's put that there to show you. So I've got my wax over here. Here's one I prepared earlier. I'll just stir it a little bit. Where are we? Here's a stirring stick. So I put some wax in here. There was a little bit of white in there, but where are we? Oh, there we go. So I've put my wax in here and melted it. So I'm just going to give it a stir. Beautiful, beautiful colour. Lovely, deep, rich red colour. So then all you do is put a drop of wax, and I do all my clay work and most of my other work on this, which is a kitchen tile that we had hanging around the garage. So you put a drop of your wax on here, like that, whatever size you like. Don't worry if a little blob goes off there. And that's your pin cushion. It couldn't be easier. So I'm just going to zoom in on it so you can get really excited about my pin cushion, because you know you're going to want to make one. There we go. So there is the pin cushion. Now to make the pins, let me zoom in. There. Oh look, this is terrible. Terrible filming. So to make the pins, again, all you need is, I'll show you the pins here. This is difficult because my camera will not want to focus on these. But the pin, oh, there we go. The pin is a tiny piece of wire which you then dip into the wax, and then you just sort of pat it, and it will dry off just like a pin. And then you get the pins. Here's some I've made earlier, as they say on Blue Peter. So I'm going to show you with a pin. Once you've got a collection of pins made, this is so tiny. Let me see if I've got, I know what I've got. Let's show you where's this. I've got one of these, which is really useful. So this is an artery forceps, or a mosquito forceps, call it what you like. But this is good because you can actually hold things that are tiny in there, and hope that the camera can actually see what you're trying to do. There we go. Can it see? Oh, I think it can. So this is a pin which I've literally just dipped a piece of wire. Oh, that's no way going to show. Let's come back. Is it going to show there? No. Gosh, I love it when this doesn't work. Okay, let's just bring it down there and hope that you can see it, because it's really difficult to get it to focus. Right, so this is a piece of wire literally dipped into a piece of wax, and then with this you can then put it in your, which should actually be cool now, I hope. There we go, it's cool now. It's got a little bit of tail there, but you just pull that off, and then you put your pin into your pin cushion like that. And if you do it with these tweezers quite carefully, you will get a good result. If you press it just from the top, let me see if I can show you this. If you press it just from the, oh, there you go. There we are. So if you just press it from the top, you might lose your wax on top. But if you use the forceps, you're more likely to get a good result. So, oh, one more thing that I needed to show you. Let me put these away. Let's put this on there. Again, I don't know if my camera is going to focus on this, but there is a tiny tape measure there, and I will show you how to roll that up. I got a piece of wire like this, and I wrapped, I'll get the sticker. So I've done the tape measure, there we go, the tape measure on sticker paper. So there it is, and it makes life much easier because then it sticks to itself because it's so tiny. And these are 1/12 scale, these ones, so I hope. There we go. Because it's hot today, I've got discombobulated fingers and having a bit of a fiddle. There we go. So it goes round there, and then you round your piece of pin like that, and then you just wind it, and it will. So she can't get it to start, but you get the idea, don't you? That you just keep winding it on, and then when you get to the end, I just put a little bit of cornstarch or baby powder so that you can have it out and sort of looking like a real. Oh, there we go, looking like a real tape measure. So I think that's it that I need to show you. Look, it all looks really messy now. It looked really tidy before, didn't it? Let me show you. Look, I'll never make a videographer, will I? Okay. So, we are done. Thank you very much for watching. And I really hope that you enjoy making your kit. If you want to send me any messages, that's absolutely fine. I have to tidy up because it's a mess, isn't it? I'm very happy to answer any questions. Obviously I'm in Australia, so I don't always get to you if you're in Europe or America, so I won't be able to answer maybe straight away, but very happy to help you in any way I can, and send me pictures when you've done. Lovely. Thanks very much, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon.